A new memo has been found from the Republicans. This is dating back to after the Las Vegas massacre, right afterwards, and it is disgusting. The National Republican Congressional Committee said to their candidates, "You and your candidate will be understandably outraged and upset, as will your community. However," and this is in caps, "do not politicize it today." So I suppose we're not that surprised that the Republicans would do that, right? But it was the largest massacre in modern history, Las Vegas, and still, don't politicize it. Remember, make sure you back the gun manufacturers. And the memo continues. "There will be time for politics and policy discussion, but any message today should be on offering thoughts and prayers for victims and their families and thanking first responders who saved lives." Well, we see the Republicans doing that, so in some sense it's not surprising, but in other sense it's good to have it verified in a memo. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Oh, we've had a mistake here. It turns out that memo was sent right after the Las Vegas massacre by the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. It was the Democrats who told Democratic candidates, "You and your candidate will be understandably outraged and upset, as will your community. However, do not politicize it today." They went on to say, this is again the Democrats, not the Republicans. "There will be time for politics and policy discussion, but any message today should be on offering thoughts, prayers for the victims and their families, and thanking first responders who saved lives." So, as some Democrats, I think rightfully so and earnestly, like Chris Murphy, are outraged by this, and they are fighting aggressively on this issue, and they're calling out the nonsense of offering thoughts and prayers. It turns out the Democratic Party was counseling their own candidates only do thoughts and prayers. Just when you thought the DCCC and the Democratic Party couldn't get any lower, they go lower. Maybe the slogan was, "When they go low, we go lower." Okay, the morning after October 1st mass shooting, as HuffPost reports, they're the ones who broke this story, in Vegas, a member of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee's press staff warned House candidates and their staffs not to politicize the shooting that day. Daniel Moran's reporting for HuffPost continues. Politicization, according to the DCCC official, included talking about gun violence prevention policy. Here, I'll show you the memo itself. Let's put that up. And it's not a long one, but as you can see there, what they're saying is, look, this is dominating the news today, so make sure you don't do anything about it. Come back to it later in the rest of the week when things have cooled down and nobody will want to do anything. So it sounds almost word for word what the Republicans would write. Oh, they're fighting the Republicans so hard. Oh, they're resisting Trump. Well, gun control groups are furious about it, rightfully so. Director of One Pulse for America, Ladd Everett, writes, it is, quote, pathetic. Mark Lace, senior advisor to Guns Down, says it's straight out of the NRA's talking points. And Waleed Shahid, who's spokesman for Just Democrats, those are the uncorrupted progressive Democrats in the country, say politics is exactly how people come together to make change and hold those in power accountable. In other words, the reason that you do politics is to get policy differences and policy changes. And when people are upset about something because people just got massacred, that is exactly when they need change in their lives. And that is exactly when the Democratic Party comes in and goes, no change, no change, no change. Gee, I wonder why people think you're the party of the status quo and the establishment. They really can't tell why. This is among the thousands of reasons why. So, now, to be fair, that was after the Las Vegas massacre. Now we've had another massacre, this time at a school again. So for some Democrats, they've finally had enough. So the Hill reports today, a number of rank and file lawmakers view this month's shooting at Parkland, Florida high school as a potential tipping point in the years-long congressional stalemate over new gun restrictions. Shedding caution, this growing chorus of Democrats is calling for extensive reforms, including a ban on military-style weapons. So some of them are out there, and even Nancy Pelosi signed up as a co-sponsor. Now, I'm going to tell you what Nancy Pelosi didn't do when she had the chance and the power to do it, but for now, credit where credit is due. Okay, but hold, don't get too excited, because The Hill has quotes from a former Democratic leadership aide also explaining some of the other Democrats' positions on this right now. He explains it's one of those fundamental issues that riles up American politics. It's up there with abortion and immigration, and they need to be very careful. Here we go again. Democrats, caution, caution, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Whatever you do, don't do anything. Cowards. Okay, he continues. If a Democratic candidate or the party as a whole overextends on this issue, then it becomes incredibly easy for the Republicans to play that up in a lot of districts. Good. We have the American people on our side. If you have the moral high ground and the polling high ground, you want them to play it up. So it's not theoretical, and it's not because I'm a progressive. Look at the poll numbers. This is a CNN poll, okay? It's not some sort of, far left poll or anything. It's CNN. This is the establishment. The Democratic Party should love this. 70% support stricter gun control in the country. Only 27% oppose stricter gun control. That's overall, across the board. You have 7 out of 10 Americans saying, yes, gun control, I want it, I'm in. And Democrats are like, whoa, 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 don't overextend. So, we only have 70%. How about universal background checks? Quinnipiac poll, 97% support, 97%. You don't want to overextend. What if you lose the other 3%? Back to that same Democratic leadership aide. You risk overreaching as a party if you try to make it a one-size-fits-all issue. I explained this to you a couple of days ago. What they're saying is, if you're Chris Murphy and you're running in the Northeast, go ahead and be for gun control. If you're Joe Manchin or Heidi Heitkamp and you're running West Virginia, North Dakota, be against gun control. Now, if they just left it there, I wouldn't be in a rage, I wouldn't agree, but I wouldn't, I get it. All these districts are different. We're not unaware of that, right? But then they say, because we're worried about Heitkamp and Manchin, unilaterally disarm and don't make it a national issue. All the Democrats, power down. Don't go on TV talking about it. Don't make it a national issue. Even though 7 out of 10 Americans agree with us, on some of the issues, 97 out of 100 agree with us. Don't overextend and overreach. Henry Cuellar, who's Democrat down in Texas, oftentimes votes with the conservatives. Last time around, voted with a bill to limit gun control by about this much. It was a minuscule limit. And I know that because the Republicans agreed to it and the NRA agreed to it. Even so, they turn around and use it against them. And he says, that was a very narrow, tailored solution. Even there, they were saying we were trying to take guns away. Yeah, if they say you're trying to take guns away, no matter what you do, no matter how little the change is, why don't you try for big change? Because they're gonna say it no matter what anyway. This is what we said for 8 straight years under Obama. They're gonna call you a Marxist, socialist, far left liberal anyway. Fox News criticized how you ate hamburgers and how you held coffee and what color pants you wore. So you might as well actually be progressive when an overwhelming majority of the country agrees with you. I keep saying it, this is so obvious, but to the people in Washington, they're so honestly corrupted and oblivious, and they're in their bubble and they're so scared. They're so scared of Fox News. They're so scared of the Republicans. They're like, only 97% agree with us, don't do anything. Come on, for God's sake. Okay, so remember what happened when they were in charge. In 2010, the Democrats have got all the levers of power, the House, the Senate, Obama, they got a supermajority. The Hill reports, indeed, when Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee requested background check hearings back in 2010, when they controlled the gavel, they were refused. Pelosi defended that decision this month, saying it was a practical one. Which then makes me question her co-sponsoring today. Because she didn't defend that decision back in 2010, she just defended it last month, saying when we were in charge, it wasn't practical to do anything. Now that they're not in charge and she knows there's no way it's gonna pass, all of a sudden she's like, oh yeah, I'm for gun control. And they wonder why we don't trust them. And when you get in power, all of a sudden all the Democratic leaders say, don't do anything, don't do anything. When you're not in power, We're not in power yet, it might jeopardize us getting power. When you are in power, it might jeopardize our power. Who gives a goddamn about your power? We're asking for policy changes. I don't care if you have more power and you feel great about yourself and you're gonna get a lobbyist contract later and you're gonna go on CNN. If you're not gonna represent us, get the hell out of the way. Again, back to today. Yet the Democrats' campaign arm is shying away from the notion that the party will adopt any national message on gun reform, citing regional and cultural differences across the country. And a second leadership aide suggests that Democrats won't go too far with their proposals. And the final twist here, in a separate story in Talking Points memo, a Republican lawmaker from Florida who has an A+ rating from the National Rifle Association has publicly called for a ban on assault rifles this week and told CNN Tuesday that his GOP colleagues are privately receptive to his proposals. The Republicans are going to outflank them. Again, how could you lose an issue about gun control to Republicans when you have 97% of the American people behind you? The Democrats, it seems, have found a way. They're amazing. Well, to all the donors who paid these Democrats to lose, mission accomplished. You have hired the most brilliant set of losers I have ever seen. Young Turks. If you want to get the whole Young Turks show every single day, become a member, tytnetwork.com/join. And once you do, you'll be saying,
you know, I'm like a smart person.
Or you might say,
I think it's weird.
Or you might say,
oops.
No, that won't be that one. It won't be that one. It'll be great, trust me. tytnetwork.com/join.